Tonight on Q2, clamping down on a crisis.
The FBI ramping up the pressure through Operation Not Forgotten to help solve MMIP cases in Indian country.
Maybe we will get justice and things will turn around. Not only for this case, but for other cases.
Plus 406 Jersey Day.
Really hopeful future ahead for us.
One middle school classroom looking to solve a real-world issue, that of food insecurity.
And
but that worked! A 3-run home run!
A big hit.
This has definitely been a project that's taken over 2 years to get to this point.
The new torpedo bats, created by a former Montana baseball coach, are now all the craze in Major League Baseball.
The MTN 530 News starts right now.
From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 530 News.
Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Russ Riesinger.
And I'm Andrea Lutz. The FBI is beginning to surge resources to Indian country, aiming to tackle the missing and murdered Indigenous persons crisis.
Well, this step of the Operation Not Forgotten will be the most intense national deployment of FBI resources to address Indian country crime, which currently has around 4,300 open investigations.
And as our Haley Monaco reports, it's a heartbreaking reality touching many families across Montana, but now there may be some justice.
Everyone in Crow Agency knows of someone who is missing or who's been murdered, and that's why this announcement brings some hope to the families impacted.
It was really heartbreaking.
2021 was a year of loss for Sonny Gardner's family.
We were not even healing from Nishan because it was still unsolved, and then this happened to Landon.
Nishan, 20 at the time, was found dead with a gunshot wound to the chest 2 days after he went missing. 9 months later, his 19-year-old brother Landon died after he was shot multiple times at a party.
Like, they're too young to die, and we can't fully agree because we didn't get justice for them.
Gardner says both cases remain unsolved, but she says Landon's killer is behind bars for another murder of an 18-year-old in Billings.
Maybe we will get justice and things will turn around. Not only for this case, but for other cases.
No justice, no charges for the deaths of Gardner's family members. But she remains hopeful the additional FBI personnel in Indian country will bring healing.
I was really happy because, to me, it's going in the right step. I'm hoping that this will help.
I was happy to see that they're continuing the work as far as keeping FBI presence in Indian country, investigating crimes in Indian country.
In 2023, of the 2,263 missing persons reports in Montana, 693 were Indigenous.
When it comes to Indian country, in terms of homicides and missing persons, those fall under the jurisdiction of the FBI because of the way that the law of the land is in Indian country.
This is the third and largest deployment of FBI agents under Operation Not Forgotten, with 60 personnel rotating in 90-day temporary assignments for 6 months.
This particular operation, it's going to be homicides, missing persons, and crimes against children.
Providing hope for families such as Gardner's to get answers and justice for their loved ones.
Like Crow, you're not supposed to say their names, but I feel like because they haven't got justice, they haven't really rested.
In Crow Agency, Haley Monaco, MTN News.
Public safety remains a top priority for Billings and for the governor. Today, he allocated $350 million in one-time funding that he says will improve safety and keep criminals off the streets in Billings. The governor met with Billings police, the county attorney, and the sheriff, even members of the jail, advocating his support for more funding for Billings as a part of this governor's budget. He promised funds to invest in the Montana State Prison, long-term planning, and even increased pay for Montana Highway Patrol troopers. Oh, the governor says that funding will directly impact the public safety issues we see in Billings.
Increasing capacity in the prison will allow us to move people out of our jail into the state prison where these violent offenders belong. This will affect you locally. This helps all our law enforcement partners. This will help me prosecute the bad people.
A lack of jail space and staff has plagued Billings for years, and while the conversation about expanding the jail is ongoing, Billings law enforcement say any funding and support helps in the long-run plan to keep Billings safe.
Today, April 2nd, is now known as Jeannette Rankin Day, the first woman ever to be elected to the United States Congress, even before women were granted the right to vote. Governor Greg Gianforte proclaimed the day at the Capitol. Rankin was born in 1880 in Missoula County, was a leader of the women's suffrage movement. She led the effort to make Montana the 11th state to grant women the right to vote and was elected to Congress in 1916, assisting in the 19th Amendment in 1920. April 2nd coincides with the day Rankin was sworn into office as a member of the U.S. House of Representatives. Gianforte says Rankin dedicated her life to pursuing equality for all Americans, breaking barriers and paving the way for future generations.
We've had the showers off and on in the Billings area since last night, and more moisture seems to be on the way as well. Notice things are drier across the northern and eastern portions of the state, and that looks like that might stay a little truer for you as well. But with the showers developing now, some of that in the form of snow here for the higher elevations, I'm going to move the clock ahead into the overnight. Things get drier for us for a while, but watch this next cold front sink through as we get into tomorrow afternoon and evening. That brings the potential for more snow, especially for the higher elevations, and then rain and maybe even a rumble of thunder tomorrow before that shifts over to all snow. But beyond that, a warming trend as we start getting into the weekend and into early next week. All the forecast details coming up.
If you've ever dreamed of owning a hotel, here's your chance. The Boot Hill Inn across from Metro Park is now up for sale. The locally owned hotel in business for a quarter of a century has an asking price of $10.9 million. And the Boot Hill Inn, less than 5 minutes from the airport. It currently ranks as the #1 hotel in Billings on TripAdvisor out of 51 total.
Well, you can expect to see a whole lot of Billings kids wearing sports jerseys in coming days. Friday is 406 Jersey Day. The annual event is a fun day with all of the money raised going towards food insecurity programs like backpack meals and pantries.
And for 2 years, the program has raised the most money ever, $33,000. As our Matt Carmack explains in tonight's Positively Montana, one classroom has high hopes that once again they can do it this year.
Inside this classroom at Lewis and Clark Middle School, there's a lot more happening than just math and reading.
One of my favorite classes is Quest because we get to do projects like I've never got to done before.
This class is called Quest. It's a gifted and talented program where kids learn real solutions to real problems.
What I have learned through the course of 25 years in teaching is that kids really do have solutions to the problems if we ask them.
Did you make a circle?
Today we worked on Did You Know facts so we could help bring awareness to food insecurity in Billings.
On Wednesday, the kids learned about food insecurity in light of an annual fundraiser, 406 Jersey Day.
It supports our backpack meals and food pantries. The Education Foundation has 36 food pantries, which is one in every school.
8% of students here at Billings Public Schools rely on food assistance programs like the backpack program and food pantries. And that's why this year's Jersey Day is so important to help keep these shelves full so those bellies don't go empty. To support this food pantry and all others across the district, it costs $9,000 a week or almost $40,000 a month.
Know when or where their next meal will come from.
Kids in Quest are trying to tackle those costs head on.
They really have done a good job of educating others and finding the information that they need that will help in order to solve the problems that are persisting.
Like Truman Miller's project on giving away hot meals to students on Fridays.
It would be like kind of like a potluck where it'd be real meals instead of packaged food.
Or Haven Murdoch's project on building a private website to request free meals anonymously.
Because a lot of kids don't want are embarrassed to tell people that they are food insecure and that they need help.
6th grade or 60, there are solutions to feeding kids here in Billings.
Really hopeful future ahead for us.
In Billings, Matt Carmack, MTN News.
Well, today local high school students are hoping to turn their creative business ideas into a reality.
Never let anybody tell you that you can't do it.
7 students from the Billings area presented their ideas for products and businesses today as part of the Hive, an event where students pitch their plans to local business professionals who then award prize money for the best ideas. It's kind of like the TV show Shark Tank. 17-year-old Daniel Light of Skyview High School created a window washing business called Sky High Window Washing that launched at the beginning of the summer of 2024 through door-to-door sales.
I told myself that if I do my best, then, I have a good chance, and I tried my best.
Daniel took home 3 awards, one being the grand prize of $5,000 from Valley Credit Union. He was also awarded the Most Enlightening Business Award and People's Choice Award. Says he plans to hire more employees and use the prize money to buy a water-fed pole system to speed up the window washing process.